Check it, grind check on this one, man.
Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome back to another video with I. Plus, I'm so the pretty gangster because I'm pretty gangster. Today I am joined by a very special friend of mine. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. My name is Kgotso. I'm here on this YouTube video with my friend Bliss.
How are you? Are you good?
I'm very good, thanks.
Oh, okay, I'm good too. Thank you so much for joining us
No
today.
problem.
So we are drinking the same one we were drinking last time, but just a different flavor. Can you give me a glass?
You cut a lot.
Should I? Means like I saw even elegant.
It's not supposed to be full, yeah.
So today's topic, we are going to be discussing men's mental health. If you're gonna see this on a Monday, happy Majita Monday. So the reason why we chose to speak about this is because we've been seeing the things that have been it is because we've been seeing the things that have been happening the past few months with men committing suicide, and it's really triggering to see our brothers and sisters falling deeper and deeper into this. How do you feel about that? What do you think about that? Do you think society has to do with men not opening up about their mental health?
Yes, I'd say it's fully society. Society is to blame because it's more the sayings that cause men to go through depression. That's how depression also starts.
Yeah, things like men don't cry and all that.
Yes, it's those sayings that change how men think.
But like, don't you think the society is changing though?
With our generation, with the current generation, it is changing because we've changed the whole concept so that men don't cry. That's why we get professionalists like psychologists, people you can talk to.
Yeah.
When you don't trust that you can speak to your friends, we have psychologists for that.
What comes to your mind when you hear the word mental health?
Mental health, I'd say everything that's in relation to the mind, everything that helps you, that puts you to ease, everything you think about on a daily basis. Yeah, emotions, all that's mental health for me.
Yeah. So how do you think men want to be dealt with? Like, what do we do? Let's say I have a brother that's suffering from the same thing. How do I help my brother?
How do you help your brother? I'd say the first thing is, if you're noticing that, I wouldn't say just let it, put it to rest. You'd see those signs and then you'd get his friends, talk to his friends about it.
So don't you think that'll trigger
It wouldn't.
everything? Because like, let's say you were suffering from mental health and then I go and tell your friend. You are not ready to tell your friend, but then I went out and I told your friend before you do.
But then again, you're saying that your brother's only showing signs. You can see that he's not okay. You go to your friend and ask him, like, what's going on with my brother? And then you bring your friend is going to tell you. Even though that would lower the levels of trust, it's okay that his friend told you because it's going to show that he's worried.
Yeah.
And like that, you might be saving your brother from what? Suicide or depression.
What are the signs of depression?
Depression. There are a lot of signs. I'd say excluding yourself from society.
Yeah.
Excluding yourself from society is a big...
Sleeping a lot.
Sleeping a lot is...
lack of motivation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lack of motivation is really bad.
Yeah, so this is basically the signs that we should look out for in our brothers and our...
sisters.
Yeah.
The whole of society, actually.
Yeah. Okay. Why don't men want to speak up? Like, generally,
Generally, hey, guys, kunzima.
like,
Kunzima.
but
Good
if
bird.
I come to you, I'm your sister, I'm saying, talk to me, brother. What's wrong? Where's the problem? Why is it not easy for you to just talk to me? If, especially like, we've known each other for such a long time.
Like, when they say it takes time, guys, to adapt, when you think about the saying, hey, men don't cry, you're just thinking about it. It comes from like a long time ago. Even now, it's gonna take time to change. We can't just like put our feelings out there.
Yeah.
For any human, it's just not that simple. It really isn't. It takes time.
Yeah. So how do we then help, or how do we deal with it as a society? Like,
I'd say we have professionals for that. Even though...
So we should just leave it with the professionals.
No, that's a horrible idea because they say your brother's going through depression and we don't know about it. How long is it going to take for us to find out that he's going through a problem? By the time we find out, he's going to be...
So there are obviously signs that we need to look out for in our brothers, and these signs, do you know any signs we should look out for?
I'd say these signs would be excluding yourself from society. You'd see that by a person staying inside like consistently.
Emotional outbursts.
Emotional outbursts. He's just going angry at a parent or a friend for no apparent reason.
Yeah.
That would be something.
Lack of motivation.
Yeah. Motivation goes a long way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then let's say I notice one of the signs. Where do I begin to talk about it?
I'd say you'd have to have a heart-to-heart with that person. It would take a lot for them to just open up.
Yeah.
That's
also, I have to be open.
Yes.
And then once they're comfortable with me, they can also be open and,
And your conversation needs to be, I wouldn't say frank, but it has to be heart-to-heart. You shouldn't speak as if you're judging them or maybe throwing shade with our generation. It's a very huge thing. You know this.
Obviously.
Yeah, you should have like a heart-to-heart. Just talk to the person.
Yeah.
And then they'll only open up then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you do to maintain your mental health? Maybe someone else out there might be suffering from the same thing and they are trying to, maintain their mental health and be a better person for themselves. What advice would you give them?
My advice would be, my stress relievers for my mental health would be, the first thing I do is that I have a hobby that I just put on the side. Like soccer or maybe running. I run in the mornings to I'd say it's the time that I have alone to make my thoughts run.
Yeah.
You understand? To keep my mind running. I always stay with my friends. That keeps me sane. Because staying in the house frequently, you're gonna go crazy. You are gonna go crazy.
So doing outdoor activities usually helps you.
It does, because it's a hobby.
Yeah.
It's a hobby that keeps you busy, keeps you from thinking about crazy things such as suicide.
Yeah.
Causing you to go through depression because you're always social with the people.
Yeah. I also feel like encouraging men on reading books. The art of happiness, because you guys don't want to read. Why don't men like reading? As soon as you tell someone about a novel or a book, you just cringe. Why?
We do like reading. I mean, certain gents like reading. It's just that, guys, it takes a lot.
Yeah.
It takes a lot. I'd rather be out there making money than reading. Because, men get a lot of pressure.
I feel like men should just invest in books, because books, personally, reading helps me. I read proper books that take my mind off things. Because or just going outside and looking at the nature, you're still gonna think. But instead, if you read a book that's going to take you completely out, that is definitely gonna help you, don't you think?
Yeah, you're right there. But thing is, as people, we have our own different things that we do. Some people have hobbies. Some people have sitting with their friends that helps them think. Some people have reading books. There are gents that like reading books. It's just that I'd say majority doesn't like reading books. I used to read books in high school. That's the last time I read a book. It's crazy.
So what affects your mental health on a daily basis?
You see that question? I know I'm not the only one to the viewers. I'd say school. School has to be the thing that affects my mental health.
One thing about school, school will kill us, guys.
It will humble you guys. It will humble you.
Okay, what about those who are not at school?
Not at school.
Yeah.
I say for men, it's a very hard thing for men that aren't at school, because they go through, I'd say, pressure from parents, pressure from society, friends, the whole group. Because it would be the pressure that we as men feel is the pressure that we have to provide. As much as we haven't changed from the Stone Ages where they say men are the providers, I thank this generation because we've broken all gender barriers. But the mere fact that you're going to feel that pressure as a gent, that how am I not making money at this specific age? Kind of like me, I'm doing a degree in law, but still, if I wasn't in school, I know that I'd be feeling the pressure to get a job, to put food on the table.
Yeah. Okay, so what are we basically saying today? We are saying to the sisters and the mothers and the everyone to just stop putting pressure on men and try to understand whoever it is that is around you and not judge them and be there for them whenever they need you. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
So then how do we where do we begin? How do we support you guys? How do we support you?
Obviously, it's not a problem that's just going to end in one day. This thing has been going on since, and our generation is trying to find ways to implement that change.
Which is what we are doing here.
Which is what we're doing now.
Yeah.
Right? The small advice is the small things that matter.
Obviously.
That matter. It's the small advice that matters. Let's say we talk like this. We don't know there might be a person who's suffering from depression like this. What we're doing right now is kind of like we're raising awareness for these kind of things, because I'd say depression amongst men, which leads to suicide, is a very huge thing in our country and the world actually. Because men do commit suicide.
And it is rising.
It is rising continuously.
Yo. Okay. Lead by example. So leading by example meaning I have to be open, be an open person, have a heart-to-heart conversation, like you said earlier
Talk to
on.
the person, just be frank.
Yeah.
Tell them what's going on. Tell them what you think is going on.
I also feel like I'm not judging you guys. I'm not judging. I'm not judging or like jumping into conclusions. But I feel like men are scared to talk to each other. Like, as much as you can point to women and say, you guys put pressure on us, a man must provide the indoda. But at the same time, you guys don't encourage each other as men. Because now angeke uze uye kumngane wakho uyokhala because uzocabanga ukuthi uzokujudge ukuthi imfethu and then manje sikhiphani ukhalelani, you know. I feel like it also starts with you guys, and you guys need to start encouraging yourself first before you look to other people, don't you think? Or am I wrong?
I'd say yes and no. You're both right and wrong. I'm a cheater / the gents. See? Let me carry on. The gents, I'd say this is directed to all the gents. They're a very hard crowd to talk to.
Yeah.
All the gents are. Because you definitely aren't chilling with 2 gents. It's always more than 4. Like, it's always like that. I'm going to talk to my friend, be like, yo, bro, I'm going through this, you know? And talk to Shlel Song. It's going to be a situation of Uti. Are you serious? And they're going to laugh. Because it's the gents. Gents always do that. Gents do that.
This is exactly what I was just saying.
But it depends. If thing is, you find a gent like me.
Yeah.
Amongst the gents, I'm always laughing. I'm always making jokes. Let's say I come to them with a situation like this, be like, gents,
they're not gonna take you serious.
At first, it's gonna be like, whoa, are you serious? Yeah. And then after that, they're gonna start taking it seriously when they see changes, or maybe they saw changes before.
Yeah.
You get those type of gents. They've been seeing you like stressed lately. Let's say I'm sitting in a corner just thinking, the gents playing video games, and then I'm out there going through my own things. And then when I tell the gents that, guys, I'm going through this, they're gonna understand.
Do gents really do that?
They do.
Honestly speaking, they do. They do. You just need to have. If they don't do that, then my brother, you need to change your friends. Definitely. Okay, so where does the big problem, the main thing, start in the society?
Men don't cry. We know that. We all know that line. Men don't cry.
Yeah.
Siyazi nje sanukufika noma nisumculali nje khali one into ekhona mara ukuthi men don't cry, we need to change that.
Yeah.
Because that statement is just wrong in many ways.
It is wrong, guys. That needs to stop. If you have told a man not to cry or any, please, today it stops. I think we really need to practice reassurance, like reassuring men that it's okay to cry, it's okay to be vulnerable, and your feelings are valid, you know? Yeah, I think that could help in encouraging them every day, reassuring them. And what else?
I'd say you mentioned all the points.
I did.
You did mention all the points, because that's just it. The whole thing of men don't cry, the whole thing of that men need to do this, indoor damas, you know? Those sayings are the sayings that put pressure on men.
But also another thing, even if now let's say I'm just making an example. Let's say no, let me not go there. This thing of saying indodamas, don't you think it also comes from you guys and your ego? You see, I'm a man, I have to provide. So if you feel like you can't do it, you beat yourself up. Even though I did not ask you to provide, I did not ask, because now personally, I'm always trying to encourage every men that is around me, like whether it's my friends, my brothers, and everyone. Like I always try to encourage them. But also now as a gent, you are the one that beats yourself up. Why do you say like maybe you look down on yourself because you can't do something for the woman, the next woman, or whatever?
I don't really know like what's going on.
But do men
with
do
us
that
as
though,
men.
right?
They do that. They
Yeah.
do. I don't know where this problem begins, because it's been happening for the longest of time. Let's say plus with our generation, things have changed. You find a female that earns more than a man.
And then the man's ego gets bruised.
Some men do tend to break out because they feel like, okay, so she earns more than me, that means I'm not doing my job, you know?
Yeah.
That also needs to stop. Because we've broken all gender barriers. We know
They feel intimidated.
Women can do the same things that men can. We're all equal. That's how. Remember in high school they used to teach us about equity. No, not equity.
Equality. Equality. Yeah.
Back to earth. Yeah, they used to teach us about equality. That's what they used to teach us about. That all men and women are equal. So men will still.
Actually, let's talk about equity and equality. Let's go there.
Damn it, I knew we were gonna go there. But yeah, we're here now.
Yeah. What do you think of that? Like, do you think we should not, like as women, we should not put ourselves in the same levels as men? Like we should fight for equity instead of equality. Like, you know, every time I speak about this, a man brings up the fact that I'm a woman, I can't lay a brick. If when you want equality, then if you're gonna come into a bus and I'm sitting down as a man, I'm not gonna stand up just because you are a woman. If we are both working hard labor, I'm not gonna help you lift up a cement because you want equality. I need to win. You must lift it up. Like, what do you think of that?
I'd say all that is just completely absurd for one main reason. Like when I say that men and women can do the same thing, what's different with women that makes them unable to carry one brick?
Honestly speaking, do you think men and women can do the same things?
Yes, they can. You find, I'd say, businesses. Back then, businesses, when they would say women and men are equal, you'd find that businessmen were only allowed to work, and then women would stay at home, raise children. That's what women fought for back then. It was more of equality. They also wanted to start going to the workplace.
Yeah.
Earn a salary so which they can provide at home. We can do the exact same thing. What makes a woman not be able to go and work?
Yeah. Okay, so back to what we are speaking about, because that I feel like that's just like a whole different topic on its own.
Yeah, it is.
I will see that another day.
This is what I'd say to the gents. Gents, take care of yourselves.
Yeah.
Your mental health comes first. Your mental health does come first. Mine is everything. Fede. We all know chasing that bag, chasing money.
And it's okay if you are not doing everything that you thought you were going to be doing by this time, or maybe you set certain goals for yourself and you don't reach those goals. It's okay. Don't put so much pressure on yourself. Take care of yourself, like you said. Also, just try to be open. Like, I feel like bottling things up really just makes everything worse. Try to not bottle things up. Find people who you can confide in. Yes, people you can trust. I feel like most men have that thing of saying, I'm alone, you won't understand. Try to like speak about to people just to test. Let's say your sister, try to talk to your sister and see if your sister actually, you can go there with your sister. And then that way you are actually going to realize that you are not alone. You will be able to find people that you can speak about. You don't have to go all the way to get therapists. Getting a therapist is good, highly advise it, but now I'm saying to the people that can't afford a therapist, your mother, your sister, your friend can be your personal therapist if you actually take the step. And as for everyone else, just be there for your men. Be there for your men. Stop judging them. Stop putting this thing of a indoda must, or indoda must not cry, don't. That is an outdated stereotype. Let's just leave that. Let's just completely get rid of that stereotype and try to be there for our brothers, for our fathers and our friends as much as we can. Is there anything else you would like to add on to that?
No, there isn't.
Yeah. So yes, guys, that is basically it. If there's anything else that you want to add, please do not be afraid. Comment, talk to us, let us know what you think about this whole situation. Let us know if you have suffered from mental health and how you think we can help you. Yeah, thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you so much for joining us.
No problem.
I'll see you guys on my next video. I think I'm gonna have a story time if I'm not mistaken. Thank you so much for tuning in. I love you guys to the moon and back. Bye.
Bye.